Hey Jermaine, Matthew here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, and you're the man without a nickname, so your new nickname after buying 5 pair for me is my new best friend. How's that for a nickname? Anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to show you how I cut prescription lenses for your new Polo. This is the 2070 color 5003 in the, sorry I got to look up for a second, the 54 eye size. So this is your frame, this is your Polo case that comes with it, Ralph Lauren Polo. This is your Polo cleaning cloth. This is your frame. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to pop out your original demo lenses that come in the frame. I'm going to put, so let's move everything aside. I'm going to put your frame into your Italian frame, into my Italian Santanelli. It is the model number LE1000 patternless edger. And the stylus has come up and is tracing the shape of your right lens. Then it's going to move over and trace the shape of your left. Here at freeprescriptionlenses.com, where everyone loves a bargain and no one is disappointed with quality. You buy the frame, you get free clear single vision prescription or non-prescription lenses if that's your thing, just for fashion. But since yours are prescription, let's get started. I'm going to pull the shape up on the computer. Your pupillary distance is 71, which is the same as the frame, so your lenses are going to be as thin as they can be. This is a polycarbonate lens being cut for a Xyle frame, which is an old school name for plastic. So let's go ahead and get started. Your right eye is minus 1.25, minus 50 at 80. I'm going to spin the axis wheel of my Marco 101 lensometer to 80. I'm going to put the power drum at minus 1.25. I'm going to put your lens in, spin it around to the optical center. The sphere power comes in clearly. I see the optical center. Check the cross curve, also known as the astigmatism correction. And I'll explain all that in a moment, but for now, I put 3 dots on your lenses, which are too light for you to see at home, so I'm going to darken those for you. And this is the right lens, so I'm going to put an R on there. Now I'm going to do the same thing for the left, minus 1, minus 50 at 75. I'm going to put the axis wheel at 75. Type it in at minus 1, spin everything around, and put those 3 dots on there. And again, let me darken those for you so you can see them at home. And that is the left lens. So this is called a block. I need to stick this on your lens. This is what's going to hold it in place while it is cutting. So believe it or not, 3M, the same people who make the post-it notes, make some sticky pads for the optical world. The black side is the sticky side, but it's a double-sided adhesive. I'm going to stick one side onto the block, pull the tape away, so this side is sticky. And essentially what I'm doing inside here, I have a crosshairs, a vertical meridian and a horizontal one. And I need to move those red dots around until they line up perfectly. I know you can't see it in this part, but that's what I'm doing. So that is on your lens. Now let's do the same thing for the left lens. Grab a block. Ooh, that one still has the sticky thing left on there. Pull that off. Stick that one on there on this side. Pull the tape away. Get everything lined up perfectly in my crosshairs, and let's start cutting your right lens. First thing I'm going to do is put it into the chuck, or as I like to say, the Charles, because I don't know it well enough to call it chuck. But the calipers are going to come down, and they're going to trace the back surface first, the concave surface, the rear surface closest to your eyelashes, and then it's going to move over and trace the convex side of the lens, which sits away from the face. All the while, the calipers are measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel so it is centered in your frame. The actual cutting wheel is down here on the bottom left. It's that lighter color wheel. Essentially, it acts like a heavy grit sandpaper that's going to grind away your polycarbonate material. And this wheel in the center with that little channel in there, that valley, that's what's going to cut the bevel onto the lens so it stays inside the bevel of the frame. Now this will get loud in just a moment, but I want you to see as your prescription lenses touches down onto the cutting wheel. This whole process takes about 15 minutes. It's now 8:27 on Monday, June 2nd. 81 degrees in my hometown of Durham, North Carolina, at least according to my Samsung Gear 2 watch. So your lenses are, this is your left lens, let's see, what is this? Yeah, this is your left lens, minus 1, minus 50. But they are polycarbonate. There's 3 main lens materials, glass, plastic, and polycarb. Glass has gone by the way of the dinosaur. You only see it in a few sunglasses now. No one wears it due to its weight and the safety every day. Plastic is the most common. It's the least expensive material. Polycarbonate is thinner and lighter than plastic. In fact, it's 40% thinner and lighter. Your lenses are actually also unbreakable. They are bulletproof up to 22 caliber and have both UVA and UVB protection. We know what the sun's harmful ultraviolet rays can do to your skin, where your eyes are 8 times more sensitive than your skin. So you have permanent sunscreen for your eyes. And actually, it just got finished cutting and has moved over to the bevel wheel. If you notice, there is water running in the background. That is to collect dust. But plastic and high-index lenses both cut with water on the lens all the time. Now, I have 2 jets that will spray water in just a moment. But it's just going to be at the very end of the cutting cycle. Thank you very much. But it's just washing away any optical debris or optical sawdust that may be on your lens while cutting. But your lens cuts dry all the way through. But yeah, when you buy glasses online, most people will charge you for your plastic lenses with your prescription. If you want the thinner, lighter weight polycarb, you have to pay an upgrade fee for that. And if you want, and there's one other thing about your lenses, they're also aspheric. Meaning a spherical lens is round, gives you an ugly cosmetic fishbowl appearance. Your lenses are aspheric, meaning that it is much flatter. This is going to fit all the way inside your frame. This is a very high quality ophthalmic grade lens. So again, most people charge you for prescription lenses, then they charge you to upgrade to the thinner, lighter weight polycarb, and then they charge you one less time to upgrade to the aspheric lenses. This is where I start. This is where I start for free. When you buy a frame, this is someone else's 3rd tier of lenses that you get for free. I won't mention any names, but most places charge you about $100. That's their discount price. So your lens is almost done. I'm going to dry it off so it's not slippery, but you still have a little bit of rough edges here. So what I want to do is go over to my handstone. This is completely flat. I can put my finger on it while it's running, and my finger gets warm due to the friction. But it's that friction that allows me to put on what's known as the safety bevel. This is where I smooth out everything from the edge of your lenses, and after doing so, you have this white powdery substance that is all over my counter and floor. But no, it's this white powdery substance. It's called Schwarf. I use my thumbnail to scrape it all off your lens, and I do this so much I've worn a V-shaped bevel into my thumbnail. But once it's all off your lens, I collect it onto the counter in one nice little neat pile, and then I throw it on the floor. And this is where I say, kids, stay in school. I went to school for years to learn how to make a mess like that. So if you want to grow up and learn to make a mess, you got to stay in school. So to see if your lens fits, I tuck it in at the outside corner, which is closest to me. Using my thumbs, I press down and it snaps in easily. I'm going to test it to see how it comes out. I turn the frame downward. I grab the frame with my left hand. I place my right thumb. It's always with your thumb. It's always at the nose. So I put my thumb over at the nose, I put the other thumb on top and I push outward, and there's still a little bit of give. So because you're going to pop these in and out, I'm going to take this down another 1/10 of a millimeter. And a millimeter is the distance, where's my PD stick? A millimeter is the distance between my thumbnails. I'm going to take 1/10 of that distance that you see off around the circumference of your lens until it pops in and out of your frame rather easily. Because you bought 2 colors of this frame, we're going to put sun lenses into the, let me grab them. You also got this one in black and red. Let me take this frame out. We're going to put a dark gray sunglass lens into this frame, but you're going to be able to pop your clear lenses in and out, so you'll have a tortoise pair and the black and red pair. And then when I cut the sunglass lenses for the black and red pair, you'll be able to pop them into the tortoise, so you'll have 2 pair of clear and then 2 pair of sunglasses. Let me set those down. These are the lenses for your, oh, what are they? They're in here, not the Wiley X, the Randy Jacksons that you own now. Just keeping everything together in one bag until I can get those cut. Right now we're just working on the Tortoise Polos. But yeah, that's what I do. I'm wearing the Ray-Ban New Wayfarer, and every day I pop my prescription lens out and into a different color depending on what I'm wearing, although I find myself wearing this blue crystal almost exclusively because 4 out of 5 days a week I'm wearing a blue shirt with pinstripes. So This blue crystal really comes in nice whenever I'm rocking my blues. So, again, I'm going to dry your lens off so it's not slippery and I don't accidentally drop it on live TV, which does happen. About 1 out of every 1,000 pair of glasses I do. So I'm trying to decrease that to 1 in every 5,000 pair that I do. So again, wipe all that off the edge of your lens. Wipe it onto the floor. Kids, stay in school. Okay, so I'm going to tuck it into the, in order to insert your lenses, you hold the frame upright. And I have the side, the right side that I'm working on closest to me. I'm not trying to reach over the frame and do this. Now, this technique may work for you. I personally like to have the side I'm working on closest to me and the frame upright because you always push down with your thumbs. So I tuck it in at the outside corner, which is closest to me, and then with my thumbs I push down at the nose. It snaps in easily. So let's go ahead and start cutting your left lens. I'm going to put this into the edger, flip this over to the left, and then hit start. And just like before, the calipers are going to come down, but this time they're going to trace the left side of your frame to make sure this lens is large enough to what we call cut out. And of course it is. This is just a routine operation. And of course, again, it's starting with the concave side first, which is the rear surface, the back surface of the lens. And then it's going to move over and trace the convex side, which is the front surface, which sits away from the face. All the while measuring the thickness of the lens to know exactly where to place the bevel. Once this starts cutting, I'm going to go ahead and continue to work on your right lens. And down onto the cutting wheel goes your unbreakable prescription lens. So this block is no longer needed. I'm going to go ahead and remove it with my D-blocker. Push down. I just need to break the tension of the suction of the sticky pad. So I'm going to pull that off. Dry your lens off. I still have that red dot here on your lens. That's your optical center. I'm not going to clear that off just yet for two purposes. One, I want to go back and inspect the lens, so I'm going to flip this back to 80, put it in, and I'm getting -1 1/4, -50, which gives me a total power -175, which is 1 tick mark below -2. Your right eye reads -1 1/4, -50 at 80. Your left eye is -1, -50 at 75. The unit of measurement in the optical field is called a diopter, and everything is in quarter increments, 0.25, 0.50, 0.75, 1, 1 1/4. So your right eye needs 5 steps of correction in order to see clearly. Now, if you notice your lens is completely flat all the way around like a nickel, I could actually stand it up on the counter, but now it's actually getting the bevel onto the lens. But so, without your glasses on, things are actually much larger than they appear in real life. So when you put your glasses on, it will minify, which is the opposite of magnify. It will minify to the correct size. So you need 5 steps of correction to get everything the correct size. You need 2 steps of astigmatism correction. Now, astigmatism, there is a stigma over the word astigmatism. It just means shape. Someone has straight hair, someone has curly hair. That is it. It is not a disease. It is not an affliction. It fluctuates, it comes and goes. But so this first number gets everything the correct size. The second number takes away the fuzzy edges once it's the correct size. So with astigmatism, that's why 6s and 8s and P's and F, the 2 letters look alike. So this 80 is just an arbitrary number, just like the 75. The first 2 numbers are real values. This last number is, if you can imagine, a straight line from 0 to 180, with this being a circle. We have 0, 90, 180, 270, back to 0. If this were the fine-tune knob, we would turn that knob to about 80, which is just before that 90 mark. And of course, the left eye at 75. But that's where we tune everything to make it nice and crisp. So I'm going to take the left lens out, dry it off. Back to the handstone. Back to the safety bevel. Back to using my thumbnail to scrape all that off. Look at that. That's like a giblet right there, a little gizzard. Scrape that off. Go all the way around, and once it's cleaned up, I'm going to dry your lens off again. Collect everything on the counter. That's right, you know what's coming, but this time you didn't expect this. Look, a little behind the back. Woo, kids, look at that technique behind the back. Kids, how many times I got to tell you, stay in school. So let's see if the left lens fits. I'm going to tuck it in. I've turned the frame around. It's facing upright. I've turned it around where the empty side is closest to me. I tuck it in at the corner closest to me, then using my thumbs, I press in, it snaps in easily. I test it by, let me take this block off, it is no longer needed. Pull that sticker off, there we go. Now, I'm going to test it by, I turn the frame downward with the temples up. When I put it in, the temples were down. I'm going to turn it over. I'm going to put my thumb at the nose, grab the frame in the center, and with my thumb I push downward. Out it comes in order to pop it back in. I flip the frame upright, tuck it in at the outside corner, and then push down with my nose. Push down with my thumbs at the nose. Now I'm going to put this in, spin the axis wheel to 75. That's the fine-tune knob for your left eye. I'm going to put it in, and if someone owed you $1, which is -1, and they borrowed another 50 cents, they would owe you $1.50. So I'm going to start off, that's the combined values. I'm at -1 now, which is your spherical power. You have 2 more steps of astigmatism correction, and that brings us to -150, to exactly halfway between -1 and -2. So that checks out perfectly. The other thing I'm going to do is your pupillary distance is 71, which is the distance between the center of your eyes. And in fact, the frame has a PD as well. Let me see if I can do this without your personal information showing. Let me grab a new card. The frame has a PD where from the corner of this lens to the corner of this lens is 71. So for the rest of your life, and your lenses are not that thick, and even with the thinner and lighter weight lenses, they're not that thick. But that's 71 millimeters from the corner of this lens to the corner of that one. So as long as you stay this size, your lens will always be very thin and will never protrude outside of the frame, which it does not do. And especially with the spherical lenses, that's just a great finished job. You do not have the lenses poking out of the frame. Great cosmetic value. So your pupillary distance is 71 millimeters also. So I'm going to place the 0 next to my thumb on your right lens, and then when you hold it up over the left lens, hopefully you can see that is 71 millimeters. So that is cut perfectly too. So the last 2 steps I want to do before getting these to you is clean off those red dots and all my fingerprints so you can't turn me into the FBI and collect that big reward that's out after me. But I'm going to clean them all off, and I'm going to hold your lenses up to the light to inspect that there's no scratches or blemishes, and we are good to go. And the last thing I want to do is get your frame in standard alignment, meaning that it sits in a 3-point stance on the table. Those 3 points are 1, 2, and the bottom of the frame being 3. I set them on the counter. I put my thumbs down. There is no wobble where I have one ear that's higher than the other, so when I take mine off, mine wobble. And I may have to adjust yours. Like I said, 80% of people have one ear that's higher than the other. But for now, yours are in standard alignment. Press down again. There is no wobble. I close each temple to make sure they overlap perfectly. And they do. The same amount of tension on your spring hinges. You know, this is an incredible frame. This Tortoise with that one streak of platinum across the top. So as you look down and you turn your head, people see that. Of course, you got the platinum rider on the side of the temple. Another great look. But that's that. If anyone has any questions, just email me at freeprescriptionlenses@gmail.com. Jermaine, I hope you enjoyed watching me make the first of your 5 pair of glasses. Everyone else got the chance to see how I bring that love and feeling back to glasses. Thank you.